This is the Authentic Dating series brought to you by Ahmad and David,
where we explore what it takes to have a dating life you're excited about.
Hey guys, I'm David.
I'm Ahmad.
And this is the Authentic Dating series. Awesome, I got it right that time. It's about the 15th take today.
Yeah, he completely messed it up the last time.
Yeah, so we fucked up. Sometimes we fuck up. Hey, I'm not dead yet.
They wouldn't have known if you didn't tell them, Dave.
Ah, shit. Maybe we should re-record it. So we're back here, Authentic Dating series, where we talk about all things dating and men and being aware and conscious of what's going on in your dating life. And today's topic is creating beautiful, casual sex relationships. Yes. So I think this is something that, you know, a lot of people are like, kind of like, oh, you know, as men, women don't want to have casual sex. They just want to have relationships. They want to get married. You know, they want to have babies. Man, this isn't really true. And I see a lot of guys aren't really sure how to kind of move things into this era, or what guys do and girls do sometimes is kind of pretend they want a relationship, start having sex, then go, oh, no, I don't really want something. I don't want anything, which is a bit inauthentic when actually maybe you could just be honest from the start, or from whenever, and, you know, create something that's really beautiful for the two of you, where you have great sex and you enjoy each other's company, but you're not necessarily committed.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about that is culturally, different people, how they're raised, what they see growing up, kind of defines their view of sex and relationships. And so if you're raised to believe that, I'm just thinking now of someone I saw recently just on the train, just a girl, but she like my girlfriend described her as looking like a good girl, and she looked really innocent. Yeah, and you can see like in her face
there was innocence.
There was a sense of like really being this good girl persona. Yeah, like wanting to portray being good. But you see, the truth is, you know, as Dave said as well, like everyone has like it's not true that women just want sex. No. It's not true that we're good or this or that. Yeah, it's just we're humans and we have urges and we have desires and we have emotions. And if culturally you've been raised to believe that you should be a certain way in a relationship or with a partner, and it's not what you truly feel internally, then it's going to cause an issue. It's going to cause a rift.
Yeah, because it's not your choice.
Yeah, and often I get asked questions about. Actually, I get the opposite question these days about like whether people should stop being so casual and go into relationships. And I'm always like, why are they asking me?
Like you're some authority
on this matter. Just because I'm in a relationship doesn't make me an authority on the matter. But what's really obvious to me is that people need to be able to know for themselves
what they want.
Yeah, you need to be comfortable with that decision. And how can you know until you know? Until you have had the experience of the opposite, of the same. I'm not saying you have to, you must go out and do everything. But what I'm saying is, like, unless you've gone through experiences, how can you truly know what it is that you want?
You're just kind of taking some social conditioning or someone else's idea and then regurgitating it for people.
Yeah, or and regurgitating it as if, you know, you really know. Yeah. But in fact, you don't know, and you're just using someone else's beliefs. I think I've just rephrased what David said.
And someone else's ideas. He likes to do that. He makes it sound better than me, and then he sounds smarter than I am. But I am smarter than you all.
I have read the dictionary, Dave.
I didn't. It was a really long book. It's a bit boring after a while. All those words that start with the same letters for a while.
From A to Z.
Gets boring. Okay. So we get into it because we know people like to get into it.
Yeah.
As the topic goes. So our first point is to be upfront and honest about what you want. And just be like, you know, you go on a date with a girl and you might just say, hey, like, you know, this is what I'm about. Boom. I just, you know, I'm not looking for something serious. I want to enjoy. I'm not looking for something committed for whatever reason, and just be honest. Like, it doesn't have to be the first thing. Like, don't go on a date with a girl and go, hi, how are you? She's like, I'm good. Just to let you know, I'm not looking for anything serious. It doesn't have to be the first thing, because at that point you probably don't know. Maybe, you know, you could fall in love with her in 10 minutes, but equally by the end you may feel like, you know, you have a certain urge towards them or not.
Yeah, I think as well, like, about the whole thing about being upfront is right from the beginning, you're being clear about your intention. There's something else that goes along with that and kind of links to what I was saying before and intention is key in this respect, is actually knowing what you want at this point in your life. Sure, things could change, but if you're not willing to just jump straight into a relationship, which some people are, fair enough, then, that will be a normal rhetoric. And I know for us, like, it would have been odd for you and I to just be like, to any girl to just be like, oh yeah, we'll get into a relationship with you after one meeting, after this one meeting. And again, I'm not knocking anyone who does that. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, it's never essentially worked out that way. I'd probably have to meet them a few times, and
more than a few times.
But I'm talking about, like, really getting to know someone and whatnot. So intention and understanding, because for me, I know there was points in my life where I was open to being in a relationship. There were points where, like, I really feel like I need to explore myself and understand myself better, and also understand women better. And so, there's whole periods of my life where I decided to actively be single. So then for me, it's a lot easier to come to the table with the notion that this is what I want.
No, totally. I've lived in this, like you said, there's times when you're open to it, and there's times that you're not, and just being quite open and going, look, I don't want anything serious. I'm not looking for that. Like, if you are, then that's cool. I think the thing is like, when is the time? I think this is probably the big question for people, is like, when is the time to say this? Like, should you say it before you slept together for the first time? Should you say it afterwards? Should you say it during a date? Should you say after the date? And I'd say that there's no hard and fast rules.
I thought you were going to say, should you say it during sex? Before you sleep together? After you sleep? During?
After the second stroke is a perfect time.
By the way, I was wondering.
Just as I'm stroking. No, I think I think you got to kind of feel your way through where that feels right for you. But I think also is like to kind of be consistent as well. Like, if you meet someone and you're like, oh, I'd love a relationship, blah, blah, blah. And then on the second date, you're like, oh, actually, I just want something casual. There's an inconsistency there, right? Are you being manipulative or anything like that? You have to look at. But it's like, just be honest up front. I've found, from my experience, that and the number of times you be quite straight and honest with a woman and go, this is what I'm looking for, you usually get quite a one direction or the other direction answer about if they are kind of down with that or they're not. And, I think that, women want to have sex as much as men. They just they're not as outwardly obvious about it, because men are a bit more basic, in their urges. It's like food, sex, sleep. But so I think that the worry for a lot of men is like, oh, women don't want that. They want relationships. And I think that's kind of bullshit for the most part.
Well, I definitely came from that camp to begin with, because culturally I was one of those guys that was kind of I grew up in an environment where that sort of behavior wasn't done. It wasn't the culture for that. So then naturally I thought, it's not what women want, or they'd be massively upset by even the mere notion of a suggestion of a casual relationship.
I think I found as well, like, as I've got older, I think that as women get older and as I get older, they kind of happen slightly together, that we all kind of balance out, and we realize that, what we want, and we're happy to say what we want and go, okay, this is what I want. And maybe just you grow in confidence in yourself, because I found the last few years that, you can be quite straight and be like, this is what I'm looking for. I found often in my case, I don't even necessarily need to say, it's just kind of taken as an assumption.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I know.
Why? Is it because I put my penis on the table at the beginning of the date?
Yeah, and it's got those signatures on it. Clara was here.
Clara?
Yeah, I just made up a name. It's just that's the first one that came to mind. Clara?
I don't remember her.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's just like a certain vibe you give off of being sexual, or being fun and casual, being free. Actually, I think that's the vibe. If as a man, if you're like, okay, I want to, I'm not looking for something. You want to give off a vibe of being very free in yourself, and talking freely about your desires and your wants.
Well, I do think that also it's also because of the fact that you're already existing in that realm. Like, if you're already existing in a realm where you are seeing a couple women, or there are options available to you, even if you're not actively dating at that time, it's just there, then it's a complete different vibe that you give off, as opposed to if there's nothing.
Scarcity.
yeah. And you're just there like hungry.
In the desert.
Yeah, that look in your eye. Like, yeah, it's a little bit different vibe. Gets given, and you're like, yeah, I'm looking for that open.
You know what it is? It's that, you know, like we were out the other night and there was that guy in the club who was sharking.
Oh, yeah.
So we call it sharking when you're in the guys in the club and he's just like looking for women. It's like a shark swimming through the sea, looking for prey. Yeah. And it's just like, you know, he was sharking. This guy was living in that kind of mentality of, I need to get a girl now, tonight. If I don't get in front of her in the next 10 seconds, she might explode.
I think he was going to explode.
His face. But actually, if you live in a realm more of like, okay, there's lots of women who are like me, like not like me, like you as a listener who may just want to have casual sex, then there's not a concern for you. You know, you're not having to wrangle this out of women or manipulate them into kind of having sex with you by kind of promising a relationship or something more. You can just be like, this is what I'd like. Or it might even be a case of you being really free and just going, at the moment I'm open to a relationship, but you know, it might take some while for me to be willing to go into one. I have to get to know someone, spend time with them and blah, blah, blah. But that may just be the truth for you. And it could change, but equally to be honest about when you change how you feel.
These are some kind of broad strokes, I suppose.
Guidelines.
Yeah, these are some broad strokes. But in essence, what underpins it is being very straightforward about where you're at, and which is covered already. So yeah, and like David said, like no need to cajole people in that position then, because like there are people that will match you in that respect. Yeah. And in fact, if you are meeting people that are not matching you in that respect, it's kind of like there's something that you're not expressing.
What are you expressing and what are you not expressing?
Because we definitely have friends who I've been guilty of this as well, where it's again feeling like they will not respond in kind to such a suggestion, that kind of pussyfooting around the subject and whatnot. There are women out there who are open.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, the other key thing then is inside of like the whole existing in the realm of being in casual relationships, whether it's one or multiple casual relationships, because it works many different ways, but it's having respect. And I think this is the point that Dave, you were making in the preamble. It's about having respect for the other person, irrespective of the fact that just because you're not in a committed relationship, it's not for some reason you're going to now start disrespecting them and hating on them because you're in a casual relationship. But actually, really, this is the thing. It's like it's actually quite. It's a very solid sign when you are just an all-round good person. Like, you're caring in general, and you're compassionate.
I can think back to like last year. I was seeing a girl last year, and it was completely open and it was completely agreed. We were just very respectful to each other. Like there's certain things you wouldn't do. Like if you're out with them, you don't try and pick up other women, for instance, which is that's disrespectful or.
Unless it's agreed.
Unless it's agreed, right? It's another thing I think we probably haven't. We'll probably get into that agreements. But it's being respectful towards them and treating them as another human being, and also a human being that you're sharing intimate moments with. Just because it's just casual doesn't mean that you don't really talk to them about your life, or you don't get to know them, or you only call them when you want to have sex, or your dates are you go straight back to someone's house. Do you know what I mean? It can be, you can still have love for someone when you don't love them. You can treat someone with respect in that way.
Yeah, it's like, essentially caring. Yeah, the next point here is about going on dates. Even if you're in a casual agreement, let's say, to continue to do things outside the sexual remit. And I think, especially when we're younger, it's like it's very easy to fall into a habit on both sides, and both parties are very happy with this.
It's not beautiful, is it? It's casual sex, but it's not beautiful. Like I can definitely think back to in my kind of younger years, it was something I was more likely to do, is kind of have it like that. But I've always liked to, even if something's casual between me and someone, actually spend time with them. Like, this is someone that you're going to share, you're going to have sex with. So it's just like having that kind of intimacy in terms of on a conversational level and kind of spending time together kind of adds to that.
Well, it's definitely something I know I learned over time. And this is perhaps a bit deeper and a little bit off topic, but it's like only really having sex with people that you truly connect with.
Yeah.
As opposed to just having sex for the sake of sex.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say it's a little bit deeper and off topic is because for some people they may not see the importance of this, and this is something though that I think Dave and I can both agree that with time you realize that actually when you do spend intimate times with people, there is a connection, regardless of what you think and what you've agreed,
or what your intentions may be.
What you've communicated and what you agreed. Regardless, like there is a bond, there is a connection that's been created, there is a sharing of time and space and whatnot, and acknowledging that, and actually choosing to have quality time. Whatever you're doing, that you're doing it in a quality way, in a good way, in a loving way.
Yeah.
Or as Dave said earlier, beautiful. Choosing to have beautiful interactions as opposed to just
being like, I want to come and get my fix.
Yeah. And again, that was a little bit off the particular topic because, that's your personal choice. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm definitely saying to you that this will increase your quality
it will add to it
of your casual sex, or your sex in general.
Totally. Our next point is kind of acknowledging that feelings are going to come up. I think it kind of speaks into what AJ just said there, is that actually my experience has been a lot of the time that when you sleep with someone for a long period of time, and I'd say anything kind of 3 months to a year, even if it's casual, there's some feelings get developed on one or both sides, or usually, and just acknowledging that, like, there's nothing wrong with saying to the person that you're seeing, you're like, okay, I'm feeling this certain way. Right? It doesn't necessarily, even acknowledging the feeling doesn't mean that they're trying to cajole you into a relationship if you don't want one, or they're trying to marry you or something like that. They're just acknowledging how they're feeling, because otherwise it kind of goes on this unsaid thing, and one of you's like, oh, I think they feel this way, and it just becomes this kind of thing that you're hiding, your own feelings towards this person. You can still be like, I really enjoy spending time with you, or I really care about you. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging those sorts of feelings.
What we're saying here is a mature way of approaching this, which will really improve your whole sex game.
Yeah. Just improve the sex you're having. Like, I feel that is something that, like I said, last year I was probably seeing a few different girls over the time, and I just spent time with them, and I actually was like, I actually like spending time with you. It doesn't just have to be this kind of like come in at 2:00 in the morning and then leave and then kick them out in the morning. There's no need to be, I'd be cooking breakfast in the morning and then maybe going for lunch and, that sort of thing. But yeah, someone's going to have feelings for someone. And also inside of that, I'd say is like when the feeling develop to a point where, you want things to either progress or you feel you need to end things, again, just acknowledge that and say that, because you can't just sit in the hope that the other person will change their mind. It's happened to me where I've really liked someone and things have rolled on, and I'm like, oh, maybe if I don't say anything, they'll change how they feel. When actually, no, it's just best to kind of come out and go, oh, I really care about you. I'd like this to move forward. And you are being vulnerable. You are running the risk of them going, well, no, actually, I don't feel that way. And, you have to deal with the aftermath of that.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I think we've covered some really key points here, and just a couple more that we want to say to wrap this up. But I think we mentioned this a few times already, but just to reiterate, like for anyone who doesn't believe it, but it's totally okay to have multiple partners in 2019 and to experience multiple partners in intimate ways, and to be open and expressive about that. And actually, I find it's way better. Women actually want to know. Yeah, they want to know who they're dealing with. And so by being open and honest, then you're creating that safe space for everyone. Yeah, to know that this is who you are. Yeah. And that they can also communicate anything that they desire. And this is what I think a lot of people don't get. A lot of guys, especially, is that by being open and being honest, like they're actually creating something very unique. Yeah, something that a lot, we just said, like some people won't express the emotions if things change, and then they're panicking inside about things. But actually, by being vulnerable, you're opening a door that allows them the choice. Yeah, as opposed to just controlling it.
Exactly. And then the multiple partners thing is, you have to remember, we live in a time now, which I think is a great time. This 2019 is a great year, where polyamory is very, very alive, and I'd say even in fashion, in vogue, and people are very interested and very intrigued by it. So having multiple partners isn't what it was 20, 30 years ago. Isn't that kind of frowned upon? It's like, oh, you have multiple partners. Okay, fair enough. So again, it's just to be open and honest about that so that you and your partner know where you stand.
Cool. So a couple more points. And the next one is about being open to something more. Because again, from experience, you never know really where things are going to go. And knowing that what we've just said about emotions, forming connections, bonds, irrespective of what you agree to begin with or what you set forth, things are never so simple and straightforward. And so, you know, actually being open to perhaps moving into a committed relationship or some form of commitment, again, will allow you to be just more free, I feel. Like rather than being in your head and stuck in what it should look like and controlling, it actually allowing things to unfold can be very beautiful.
Yeah, like quite a few of my long-term relationships have started off as something very casual. Of just being like, we're just going to sleep together. We'll just see each other. Like no pressure. It's just casual. We both enjoy spending time together. And, you know, lo and behold, 6 months, a year later of that agreement, you know, you're like, okay, we really care about each other. Let's be committed to one another. So being open to more than just, you know, hooking up, it just allows that to be in the space. Like, fair enough, sometimes you're like, okay, it's not what I want with this person, or I'm not open to that right now. But actually just saying, I could be open to this in your own mind with yourself, I think is important. Being open to something more, because otherwise you're just kind of boxing yourself in. You know, and if you're just having lots of casual sex and it's like, where's this going for you? What's the real end result with this?
Cool. So the final piece of advice for any would-be casual daters out there, casual sexers, casual daters.
Casual sex daters.
Yeah.
Casual sexers.
Sexing. Casual sexing. Is don't be a booty caller. So,
like, I think
this one Dave loves.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had a few women be like this. It's just they just call when they're drunk at 2:00 in the morning. You know, and it's just like, is that all I mean to you? Is that all I am? A penis at the end of the stick.
Problems that Dave has.
I'm sure you've had this problem
on a
before.
Tuesday night.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah, like, don't be that guy, you know, because it's just, again, it kind of sits in being respectful of someone. You know, I guess sometimes that's the agreement, that's how it is. But I think you should give someone a bit more respect than only calling them at 2:00 in the morning when you're pretty half cut. And yeah, I just think you should give people more than that. Men, you should definitely do a bit more than that. Women, the same.
So let us know what you thought about our points, and if you have anything else to add, like get in touch. Yeah, we're actually really intrigued to hear, because 2019, you know, things are literally blowing up in a different way.
We have different choices to be making now. You know, I went to Swinington Talk recently at Togetherness. I was telling you about the new paradigm relationship.
Yeah.
It's one of the things the woman there said was like, we are in a completely new era now of relationships. There's considerations that we have to make that our parents never even thought about. You know, like our parents thinking, do I want to be in a monogamous relationship or do I want to be a polyamorous relationship? It wasn't even a consideration. It was like, no, you get married, you have babies. You know? So, you know, now it's like, do I want a committed relationship? Do I want to just have things be very casual? And there's new choices to make.
Yeah. So yeah, get in touch. You can reach us through Instagram, or on our Instagram would be actually at Authentic Dating Series, or our email, which is hello@authenticdatingseries.com. Get in touch and let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear what you have to say about this. Other than that, Dave?
Yeah, peace out.
Peace. Ciao.
Ciao.